It's the first Friday of the month, and that means we've got folks here from Northwoods Community Realty here in Tomahawk and in Lake Tomahawk. But of all the folks that usually come and visit us, only one showed up today. Opie Garrison drew the short straw, I guess, today. Hey, Opie.
Hi, Jeff. Everybody's busy at our office. Jackie's in full wedding planning mode for her son, Aaron. Keith Hansey had a closing up in Rhinelander. Dion went and saw her daughter down in Texas.
Okay.
And Sammy and Cheyenne are showing properties this morning.
Everybody's busy at Northwoods Community Realty.
Yes, indeed.
The market is still busy.
It is, Jeff. Yeah, the Feds kept saying how interest rates were going to plummet. It's been we got 50 basis points down.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed our world a lot. It certainly hasn't hurt it, but we're not getting the dramatic decreases that they predicted in 24, and they say we could lose another point and a quarter in 25, but time will tell.
Time will tell. The Fed is a fickle thing. Folks.
You can't hang your hat on it.
No, you can't. Don't count on that. But again, I've heard a great real estate. I don't know if it's a cliche or if it's just cliches are sometimes true too. But you marry the house, you date the rate.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good cliche, I think, in this.
When you think about it, there's a lot to that.
There is. And so we'll keep an eye on the Fed and see what happens with rates. But it's still busy time to be in the real estate world right now, whether you're buying or selling. And speaking of selling, there's a lot of leaves out there right now, Opie. And for a lot of folks, raking is nothing that appeals to them. So instead of raking, just sell the place.
Yeah. Jackie and the crew is kind of doing a campaign that, this time of year, people kind of evaluate their property and say, gosh, the kids were in all these sports and we were busy and we just didn't use the cabin like we thought, and now it's the fall cleanup. Maybe it's time we should get a market analysis and possibly consider selling. And that's kind of the just behind our promotion is this time of year, and people reevaluate how much have we really used our property.
We hear the words market evaluation all the time. What exactly is it? What goes into a market evaluation? And it's free.
Right. It is, Jeff. Thank you for asking. So what one of our agents will do is come out and view your individual property, and let's say your 3-bedroom, 2-bath, on a body of water, 200 acres and less, and with a 2-car garage. And so they're going to find comparables, similar to what an appraisal will do. We're not licensed appraisers, but we pull the same comps, and we do ups and downs. So let's say that your frontage is sandy and the other one was mucky. We adjust for that, and we need a roof here. And so we'll go through and fine-tune that value to say that if you went on the market today, this is what we would recommend you to list at.
There's a difference between a real estate agent and the people the official
a licensed appraiser.
Licensed appraiser, yes. And so, but you guys are in the market every day. You're in all these different houses every single day. I would sure think that qualifies you just as much as anything.
Well, we don't have certainly the certification, and a bank doesn't look at us as a certified appraiser to get the loan. But they pull on the MLS the same comps that we have access to. Certainly in our local area, I think, we know our area very well. Sometimes we get big nationwide banks and they pull a appraiser out of Appleton. Right. They don't know the difference between Lake Alice and Swampsauger. Right. I hate to say it, but we're us that live here, we truly know the value of things, and we'll do a good, honest job of giving you a market analysis.
Plus, they probably don't necessarily work for free.
They absolutely don't. Yeah. And we do it for free. And even we're going to talk about open book and assessments. But if somebody feels that their assessment's way out of whack and you want to get a market analysis from someone, give our office a call and one of the agents will come out and help.
Let's talk about that. There's been a lot of stuff online. I'm not on there, but I hear secondhand that Facebook kind of blew up a week or so ago when the new assessments came out in Maryland, the city of Maryland. Everybody thought the sky was falling, and then the calmer heads finally prevailed, and they said, wait a second, you're all way off base here. So this kind of applies in a lot of different areas, not just the city of Maryland, but the town of Bradley assessment has been in there. People might not agree with what they see. So what happens then?
Yeah, I just lived through it in Nokomis, Jeff, and things get reappraised about every 10 years, give or take. So, and just a side note is sometimes we'll sell a property that, say, the fair market value shows at $300,000 and it sold for $450,000 because of today's values.
Right.
And 3 years ago, the buyer says, oh my gosh, now my taxes are going to skyrocket. It doesn't adjust automatically with the sales price. It has to wait till the whole township gets reassessed, and that's when it finds its market value again.
And that's where the term equalized value comes in, correct? That's how they figure equalized value. They look at the whole picture. They look at the timing. They look at when it was. It all goes into one thing.
The economy of the world, what our local market has done, our job sector, everything comes into those numbers. So I can speak for the town of Nokomis. Let's say hypothetically you had a $300,000 home. The new assessment, you were maybe at 450, 475. People were just totally, like you said, thought the sky was falling.
Right.
And I always tell people, just stay calm. Look, you can go to Open Book and see what your neighbors and the properties that you compare well to, see if they went up that same amount. And more than likely, your taxes aren't really going to move because it's the mill rate, which is the multiplier that they multiply the fair market value to come up with your tax bill. So in the town of Nokomis, when everybody thought the sky was falling, my taxes actually went down $100 with the new assessment.
Okay, so it's not bad news getting that new assessment.
It's not necessarily over time. Will they hike it? Will it keep going? Probably, but it's more to do with what the state and your town and everything is going through. But every 10 you wait 10 years to reassess properties, you're going to have a big hike.
Oh yeah. I mean, especially in the market that we're in now, we've seen values just they've skyrocketed for a lot of places. And if you had a nice house on a nice location, it's worth way more than you paid for it.
Yeah, it could be worth 50, 60, 70% more than the old assessment.
So what can people do to get some relief, to get the official word from somebody? Hopefully they take your word for it, but they also have some other things. You can call the assessor, but I guess that window closes before too long, right? It's not open forever.
Right. You should go to maybe your Open Book, which that will give you a heads up what's coming even before you get your tax bill. An Open Book will be published by your town hall. You can call your town secretary and ask the status of what Open Book is, and then and if you'd like to come to our office or another office and get some comparables, so if you feel you're really still out of whack, that they missed the boat on you, you have a recourse and you can contact the appraiser and have a good discussion of, here's what I believe are comps, how are you coming up with this? And it's better to get ahead of the curve than wait till your taxes are due.
For the people listening right now, they're saying, what the heck are those two guys talking about? I haven't gotten anything like this. This is the mail. This doesn't happen everywhere at the same time. It's different timing for different towns and townships.
100%, Jeff. And that's mainly because the appraisers can only handle so much.
Right.
We only have so many in our area. So Nokomis was 2 years ago. Bradley is this year. Maybe the town of King is, it just kind of moves around.
Okay. Bottom line is keep a cool head, and there are ways you can get the education you need and get the information that you need. Just stay calm, stay cool. Nobody's going to come and dig in your pocket tomorrow.
It's not going to turn your world upside down.
Yeah, exactly. Good news. In the any other market kind of stuff that you're seeing out there lately, Opie? Things that are maybe different a little bit from a month or two ago when we were in the heat of summertime. Anything different going into this fall season now? Yeah,
the days on market are slightly creeping up, Jeff. As you and I know, 2 years ago it was a feeding frenzy.
Yeah.
Is 45 to 60 days on the market a healthy thing? I think it is. You may get a couple multiple offers. You're not going to get 9. Nokomis and the Willow and some of our flowages are really down. That tempers the market a bit.
I mean the water level.
Water level.
Okay. People will come and look at property. They hate seeing that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. And even as realtors, we're very forthcoming and show them maps. Here's how it can look.
Yeah.
But when it's full, it's hard to imagine that.
Right.
So people look and they go, oh my gosh, this is worse than I thought. And that's where there's some places on the lake that have better frontage than not. And some people say I kayak. It's less important to me. And we can fit the property to who it is. But it's a good time to see things right now because you know what you're really up against.
I think that a lot of people that don't live here all the time, that aren't as savvy about the way things work up here, don't realize that flowages vary with water height, and especially this time of year. Every single year they draw them down for a reason.
They do, and that's why they were built and designed.
Yeah.
So we're lucky to have the water we have, and it's part of living on a flowage. But it's nice for people to have their eyes open when they buy.
Yeah, and the fishing sure is good out there on the flowages. That's for sure. Good time to list, and don't rake. We covered that part. The other thing that we need to cover yet here is it's hunting season now. There's going to be folks in the woods with guns now. They've been out there with bows. The guns are coming out in the woods now, and people that don't have a place to hunt, they're thinking, oh boy, another time in the county woods or in the public hunting area, and do I really want to go through that again? What's the availability of hunting land looking like around here?
Yeah, there is some very nice properties out. And give our office a call. Zillow is everybody's go-to, and it's not as accurate as having a relationship with an agent where they set you up on a private client service where you see things when they're listed, sold, price changes. You can really monitor the market way better than Zillow. Zillow, unfortunately, people think is the go-to, and it's not always accurate.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice to see a little frost on the roofs this morning driving to work. It felt like fall was in the air.
Yeah, finally.
Unfortunately, Cheyenne in our office hit a buck with her car today coming in.
Oh, boy.
So deer are moving, everyone. It's that time of year where this cold weather gets things changing. But we do it, and this is just like we were talking about with lake homes. We get people after this hunting season that say, gosh, we used to have a crew of 12, now we're down to 4. Do we really justify owning this 80 or 160 acres? Maybe we want to get a price to sell. It's all good timing to keep your eyes open, make a contact with the office, and monitor what's out there for hunting land.
Especially, it seems to me, Opie, tell me if I'm wrong, but a lot of stands of woods, especially hunting land, it's like generational in nature. Great-grandpa had it, passed it down to the next, passed it down to the next, and here it is. Well, I'm not a big hunter. What am I going to do with this big plot of land?
Yeah, that definitely occurs, Jeff. And there's other areas that were big tracts of paper mill land that now is being sold off. There were timberland companies, and now they're selling off to developers, especially in the Nokomis area, where something that was 200 acres forever, that was open walking, open MFL open where you could hunt it. Now it's getting chunked into 5 and 10 and 20 acre lots. So we have a lot more activity. A lot less public land coming, so it's a good time to secure your heritage and maybe buy that 40 or 80 or whatever your family and your group can afford.
And as far as people that think that, well, I don't know, I'm not going to list right now. I think we probably talked about this last year at this time too, but instead of getting the place ready to shut down for the wintertime and all the work that entails, and then worrying about the place all winter, you're just not getting the use out of it anymore. It's that time of year now too.
Yeah, it is. Give the office a call, and any of our good agents can come and do that market analysis. And, there's a lot of things to prep for winter, Jeff. You want to make sure that, your spigots are shut off, the leaves aren't by your house, you have your snow plowing set up, because some people literally are snowbirds and they just lock the door and leave. And I've heard some nightmares about the fire department couldn't get there because they weren't plowed. Insurance, then they had an issue with their claim.
Oh, I bet. So there's a lot to worry about when you vacate your property for the season.
It's just not walking away like a condo.
What's the phone ringing right now at the office at Northwoods Community Realty? What are people still looking for? Is there a certain thing that stands out head and tails above everything else, or is it just whatever you can find me, Opie, please find it? Is there certain requested things that people are really looking for?
Yeah, the lake homes, Jeff, 300 to 500 are still like there's a lot of demand for that.
Yeah.
And we truly have kind of a housing shortage in our greater area here. Mm-hmm. And the VRBO thing kind of exacerbated that, which we've talked about, where we have less homes that were single-family dwellings because now they're kind of commercial rental properties. So that adds to it. So we have a list of families that would like to upgrade. We have some older folks that would like maybe buy something smaller, but not in an apartment or a condo scenario. So there's a lot of if we can make the right fits with each other. We've truly had it where we have a older couple that had 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, wanted a 2 and a 1, and we had a family that was going the other direction. We were able to marry them together.
Oh, do the old switcheroo.
Yeah. So sometimes just by stopping in and saying, if something came along like this, it's good for our agents to know.
The other thing, you mentioned the VRBO situation here. I'm just curious after that. It was like a feeding frenzy for VRBO folks that were buying properties. I'm just curious, are they getting filled up? Do you have any kind of access to that information? Are they being filled up? Are these people saying, oh, boy, maybe I jumped in with both feet and I should have maybe tested the water a little bit? What's that situation like?
In my mind, Jeff, it's kind of oversaturated, the amount of them.
Okay.
On big weekends, do they fill up? Yeah. But as, the second week of September, is it full? Probably not.
Okay.
So, if let's say hypothetically we had 100 of them 3 years ago and now we have 400 of them, that's hard to justify that. And, will some of them maybe go back into be a long-term rentals, or some folks look about maybe for the winter we'll rent for 6 months. It helps our housing a little bit.
Yeah.
But that truly changed our world too, all the VRBOs.
My heart goes out to people looking for rentals right now, people that just want a place to rent and they just can't find it. They end up having to drive 30, 40 miles to work just to find a rental. And gosh, I don't know. I know we've heard things in the city council meetings and such like that. There's help coming, but we've been hearing that for a long time. We have, and we have a good group trying very hard to recruit some nice apartments with garages and to help alleviate some of this, but it's slow coming. And when the world changed with interest rates, and then the developer says, oh, I don't know if I want to
jump into this now,
Right.
and there's been a lot of moving parts to slow down in getting it.
But again, historically speaking, rates are not that high.
No, they're not at all. And our employers struggle with that, having good employees. But if there's not housing,
Yeah.
then we can't have employees, which makes a service for our restaurants and our stores.
Yeah.
And, it's a big snowball, and it all starts with housing.
Yeah, so great investment is real estate, that's for sure. And I know I go by them all the time. There's a lot of nice newer houses in a subdivision right on 107 as you're heading north on 107 out of Merrill up north. And there's some big apartments, beautiful apartment complexes out there. I see a lot of land still available for that out there, and it's not getting broken.
It isn't, and the city's been working with a developer to, Kings Hill. I think we had half a dozen new homes built by a developer, which they're selling and going well. But the hope is to get like a 40 or 60 or 80, nice new apartments with garages, and gosh, that would go a long way in our community.
It sure would. We're at the time of season. We're seeing a lot of pumpkins out there right now, Opie. Every year, Northwoods Community Realty has a lot of pumpkins between the two offices. And what's happening with the pumpkins out there?
Well, I think Bob Leonard is down at an auction today filling up a trailer full of pumpkins.
Okay.
And Jackie likes to call it the Great Pumpkin Giveaway. So in front of our office tomorrow morning, it opens at 9. Bring your children, your family. The pumpkins are free. Stop and visit. They go pretty quickly. I would guess maybe 9 to 11, the trailer will be empty, but everyone's welcome. You don't have to be a past client. Stop in, visit, get any information, and grab a pumpkin.
I'm hoping that we piqued at least one or two people's curiosity here this morning, Opie. And so I'm hoping that as you exit the studio today, your phone starts ringing because somebody wants to sit down and have a conversation about either buying or selling a home in this market today. So with that in mind, when it comes to buying a house right now, and they say, Opie, let's have a talk. What do you got to talk about?
Well, whatever their individual situation is, Jeff, I always like to start out by asking about them rather than about me.
Uh-oh, are we going to get kicked off the air here?
No, pumpkins are next Saturday.
Oh, okay, next Saturday. Okay, so Bob's going down to pick up the pumpkins today, but the giveaway is next Saturday.
Thank you, Amy. Yeah, because
Okay, yeah.
the big wedding of Jackie's son Aaron is next weekend.
I was going to
And it
say,
is,
yeah.
We could have had a mutiny, Jeff.
I'll say. Boy, thank
So
goodness.
I apologize. It's next Saturday at 9 a.m.
Next Saturday at 9 o'clock, bring the kids free pumpkins at Northwoods Community Realty here in Tomahawk. In Lake Tomahawk, too?
I don't think so. I'm
No,
not certain,
just
but
here
I think it's just in Tomahawk.
Let's go with Tomahawk. We know that for sure. And then finish your thought here as far as what you're going to talk about when somebody calls.
Yeah, when someone calls, we really like to tailor it, not about who and what we are. Let's hear about what your needs are, and whether it be looking for property, or I'm considering selling, or my mom's aging and we need to find some housing that we could sell her house if we had a place for her to go. We'll truly tailor any scenario, Jeff, what's best for the individual.
What if somebody says, well, I'm not really in the market today, but I want to be ready when I am in the market? That's okay, too?
Absolutely. We'll set you up on a search where you can monitor the market. We suggest maybe you talk to a local lender, so if that ideal property comes along, you're ready to make that move, and we're not behind the curve, competing with others. And, we've got a lot of great agents at our office that are willing to help.
We got about a minute left. So if somebody is out of the market and they want to move to this market, you recommend they talk to a local banker or a banker back home? Does it matter?
It does matter. I understand people have a relationship at home, but our local banks know our market. They know the appraisers. They know the easements. It's just a smoother transition. We certainly do it with out-of-area. But if I have two offers with the same terms, and one's a local bank, one's an out-of-area bank, guess who I'm going to push my seller to?
Yeah, the local bank, absolutely.
Yep.
Two offices to serve you, one in Tomahawk, one in Lake Tomahawk. And Opie, what's the best way to track down Northwoods Community Realty and everything you can do for folks?
Just go online at northwoods.com or 715-453-2673. Call our office, Jeff.
NorthwoodsCommunityRealty.com?
Yeah.
All those.
You know how
the way up.
techie I am,
Yes,
Jeff?
yeah.
Yes.
Us old guys, we're not all that techie. There we go. Opie, thanks for being here this morning. And send our best wishes to Jackie and the family with that family wedding coming up, and hope everything's going to come off just smooth.
And the pumpkin giveaway next Saturday.
Pumpkin giveaway next Saturday here in Tomahawk, Northwoods Community Realty. Opie, thanks. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, Jeff.